raining this whole time. Just arrived at Fort McAllister State Park. We gotta go get registered, but look at how dreary and beautiful it is. It's been raining this whole time. Hello, good afternoon. Today is day one in Savannah, Georgia. We have a super cool campground that is called Fort McAllister State Park, and it's fabulous. We spent the morning, Ernst woke up first again, made us coffee. I went on a long walk with Bjorn exploring the park. Ernst went on a run. We just kind of putzed around this morning, and so now it's 2 o'clock and we are excited for our walking tour of Savannah. Y'all, we know I love old trees, and this park is filled with them. We're listening to an audio tour of the historic downtown, and we'll be able to tell you more soon. Lasky Square used to be home to a lot of homeless, and now we're walking towards Orleans Square. There were originally 24 squares, but now there are 22 squares in Savannah. So this is Franklin Square is where we're standing. There's City Market behind us. We've walked north from our parking spot, and it's been super, super cute. Just little side streets and shops and stuff. This is Haitian monument, and it identifies and kind of appreciates Haitians and the role of African American black people in the Revolutionary War. It's been interesting because a lot of these statues here are Confederate monuments and honor Confederate heroes and stuff, and it's just interesting because it's obviously a very sensitive time for that, and we're learning history.
Cool. We're gonna check out the market, City Market. Maybe we should have a fountain like på norsk.
Ja, Rolle son, what are you doing?
Kanskje vi skal ha en sånn fontene som dette er, i stedet for paviljongen. Det er kult. You're okay, bro. Good. Thing we do when we're walking in the streets is we got audio tour. So Sarah's like playing the audio tour and everything. But we learned about this lady right here.
The waving girl.
So this is called the waving girl. So she hooked up with some kind of sailor, and then after he left, he left to go out on the docks again, and then she kept waving to every ship over and over. And it said that she waved to over 50,000 ships. At one point, you gotta stop being stupid and understand that the sailor ain't returning. Like, you were just one of many, and you need to get over yourself.
Her name was Florence Martis from 1868 to 1943, and I don't know exactly why she waved at all the ships coming in, but with her handkerchief during the day and eventually with the lantern at night, she just greeted every ship that came into Savannah. And so that like broken-hearted sailor at sea who's gone, that Ernst just described harshly, is what is rumored to be her reasoning for welcoming the 50,000 ships during her lifetime. Poor girl.
Sarah wants to recreate this.
found you. You came home to me.
So you can't see it, but this is where the bench was placed that they filmed Forrest Gump when he was sitting on the bench eating chocolate.
And telling his life story.
Yeah, here in Savannah, Georgia.
In Chippewa Square.
Chippewa Square.
It's beautiful. Of course it is. It's very different from Charleston.
All right, it is Friday, December 10th. And we are still in Georgia. We're heading to a lighthouse because it's so much fun to watch lighthouses. And then we're going to the beach afterwards at Tybee Island. Björn is not welcome on the beach, but he is welcome on the island, so we'll sightseeing around there a little bit. And then maybe we are going to eat at a restaurant right where we are staying at our campsite. There's some kind of local restaurant that's apparently pretty good.
It's day 2 of 4 today.
It's day 2. Great morning. Yeah. I will see you guys at the so exciting lighthouse.
Shut up. It's gonna be fun.
You drive and your wife is driving, right? Thing where she wants you to hold, she puts out her hand and she wants you to hold it. Whereas I'm like, I'm not comfortable you driving with 2 hands. What makes you think I'm comfortable with you driving with 1 hand, honey? Do you guys experience that at all? Because I don't know. I feel like every time she does that, I'm like, get your hands back on the wheel. Are you okay, Björn? Oh, you're passed out, aren't you? That's a good boy. Hi. Hi, baby boy. These are the marshlands.
Not march. Marsh.
Marsh. Not march. Marsh. Marshlands.
M-A-R-S.
Marsh. Marshlands.
Not Marsland.
Marsh. Get it right, people. Marsh. Bull River Marina.
See any gators?
Is that a gator? Oh, it's just a man fishing.
Oh, it's so romantic in this little paddle boat.
That was so romantic. He was fishing in the marshlands in his paddle boat. Fort Pulaski. Careful for the turtles.
We're going to Fort Pulaski and walk around some of the historic site nature trails and visit some birds. Maybe we'll see a gator. I'm looking out for it. If we do see a gator, I hope it's very far away and on the other side of the water.
So this is called the moat.
Of Fort Pulaski.
What is it?
And it's 7 feet deep, but it's controlled by the tides and it surrounds the fort.
Why was it made?
So, well, why was any fort or moat made? To protect that's the fort.
To protect them from evil people.
This is a Civil War fort.
Civil War. What's that?
The Demilune?
How do you say this word?
A Demilune?
Demilune.
What is it? So it's the huge triangular
Demilune.
piece of land.
Now, is it Demilune? Demilune?
The gorge wall of the fort. So
Demilune?
the rear.
Demilune?
Shut up.
How do you say it? Demilune? Demilune. Demilune. How do you say it?
Demilune.
Demilune. Are you sure about that?
I'm confident, so you can be quiet.
Alright.
So this protected the rear wall of the gorge, or of the fort. During the Civil War, this area was flat with a surrounding parapet and contained outbuildings and various storage sheds. The large earth mounds built after the war overlay 4 powder magazines and passageways to several gun encampments. So it used to be shown flat with sheds and storage, but now it's covering secrets.
Very interesting. So This is a drawbridge.
But it's not the drawbridge.
But it's not the drawbridge, because there's the drawbridge and there's a drawbridge. I don't know the difference, but she does apparently.
Did you have any fairy tales in Norway to have like, oh, the alligators in the moat, and if you had tried to jump the river or jump to the castle over the moat, the alligators and sharks would get you?
No, we didn't have fairy tales about alligators in Norway. What are you talking about?
So the moats, like the moats were around the castles to protect the princess.
We don't have alligators in Norway, honey.
But did you have moats?
No, we had troll. Troll som bodde under broa.
There's one with sword shed.
Troll og alver. Alligator i Norge, hva er det for noe jikk-jakk? Hæ? Troll, kjære.
Apparently this was supposed to
Store bukken og trollet.
Stop.
I just hit my head. Hey, there we go. Very cool. Kinda reminds me of the living space of some of my Danish friends. Very nice. Moats.
Yeah. It's like a defense mechanism, right? Because if the water's 7 feet deep, you can't just cross and climb the wall. You have to rappel and do the ropes thing.
No, we kill people.
So this is the drawbridge that made it, the fort, a truly an island and strengthened its overall
Very cool.
defenses.
Promises, 'cause I don't keep them. I already miss you. I never make promises, 'cause I don't keep them. I already miss you.
So this was the side that eventually was broken down and broken into by Union officers to the point where they could fire just directly into the fort because, well, there's no wall left. What are your thoughts on this, Ernst?
Very cool.
Because we're vloggers.
It's a cool fort. You can see fingerprints of the people who made the clay over there, which is pretty cool.
I never make promises.
It makes you think about all the men, women, and children that built this fort. Each fingerprint has a story.
I never make promises.
And when people were gotten in prison here, there was bad. 600 prisoners at one point. They had to share 75 loaves. Some kind of sour pickles.
I think it was like cornmeal. And dogs are allowed in this park as well. And then corner, it resembles the same kind of unison that we did on that corner where it was like quarters of important people, and then as we got to the corner, it got even more important. So that's the captain's quarters. What are you learning about, Ernst? Besides how to fart in public. What'd you learn about?
There's a hole over there where 8 soldiers, prisoners of war, were digging while they were working. Took them 5 months and tried to escape, and they did it on a foggy night, and they were able to get over the water and ran away, but in the end they were caught. And then over there, in the hole over there, they found a paw print. So again, with all the people who made all these bricks, it was apparently a dog that had stepped on a brick before it was heated up. And yeah, you can see a living, or not a living, you can see a paw print on the brick. This makes you think of the history of all these bricks. And this is a fig tree that is still alive. That was planted in the 1800s. And apparently it gives the best figs you'll ever taste during the summer. During the winter it looks dead, but it's very much not dead.
Cool.
So now we're outside of the fort and we're walking to a lighthouse, which is about a mile walk. And we were told we cannot even get near the lighthouse, but I guess we're doing the walk anyway. Now, question. Sarah thinks this is bear poop, whereas some Brits we just met thought it was deer poop.
It's definitely not deer poop.
What kind of poop is it?
I don't know in this area, but we're gonna ask at the visitor center.
I don't think it's
'Cause it is
bear poop,
prolific.
but it's a ton of it. It's poop everywhere. Like
Yeah.
every 10 yards there's a new
They're
poop.
very healthy, and there's quite a bit of a berry food production here. So
Yeah.
they are well-fed animals, whatever they are.
Yeah.
Okay, so there is Fort Pulaski, and then there is the Savannah River, and here is a lighthouse that survived the war. And that's pretty remarkable because the troops on the Union were firing from that shore from across the way. And they fired all the way to the fort. And they had new weaponry that would explode upon contact. Thank you for coming along with us.
Season's greetings. Christmas in Tybee Island. Very cutesy. A little sightseeing through Tybee, very cutesy town. Seems like a spring break destination for families. Doesn't seem like it has the party scene of other towns like Panama City and such. The only negative thing about it is they don't allow dogs on the beach
And so for
at
us,
any time.
Yeah, so for us that's a major negative and cause for us to turn around and drive home, because if Bjorn can't do it, we don't want it. Bjorn can't do it, we don't want it. I'm at Fort McAllister State Park right now. I'm doing a reenactment. Fort McAllister was kind of like a bunch of mounds, like an underground fort that fired flaming hot cannonballs at Union ships so they'd burn up. They're doing a reenactment, but this is the fort. It's a bunch of mounds with cannons and actually living quarters under the mounds. They fired, like I said, they heated up the cannonballs because they were firing at wooden ships. So they would pack the gunpowder, pack like a wet cloth, and then put in this red hot iron ball, and they'd fire it, and it would cause the wooden ships of the Union to go catch fire in the water. And it's just really interesting because this is very different from the fort. It's very different from the fort that we saw yesterday, right? Like this is an underground fort, if you will, with not a moat, but a bunch of fences. It's interesting. But this is the south side of Savannah. Fort Pulaski was on the north side of Savannah. So just a different way to access, a different waterway to access. The Atlantic Ocean is 7 miles that way. And this is just the Ogeechee River. We've got the cooks. And the tents. We have a smith workshop, a smith worker. Okay, so after the reenactment, they had a Q&A, and I learned that the same Union cannons that exploded upon contact to the brick and mortar of Fort Pulaski didn't do the same damage because the earth, when they impacted the earth walls here, it softened the blow and it went kind of up and out rather than in. And after like 12 to 18 hours of just bombardment from the cannons of the Union from ships, at night, or whenever there was like a ceasefire rest period, the men were able to just kind of repack the earth and completely repair the fort within 24 hours, whereas Fort Pulaski, being brick and mortar, once it was hit, it was completely destroyed. This is just piles of sand. Also, the living quarters that I saw in the mound was actually the infirmary, and the men preferred to sleep in tents. You can see that the reenactment folks have tents set up because they camped out here yesterday. Yeah, very interesting. It was 250 Confederates versus, I think he said 5,000 Union on the ships and stuff like that. So very interesting. Once again, another history lesson, you know, and it was another fort designed to protect Savannah, which is across here. This is the southern river. The Savannah River near Fort Pulaski was the northern river, and Savannah itself is in between. So one of the things we learned is that Henry Ford, the same Henry Ford that we saw his museum in Michigan, he had a big impact on the Savannah area as well. He came down here and created jobs just like he did in Michigan, except it was farming jobs and agriculture. This is the kindergarten. He had a whole bunch of agriculture. In fact, the stuffing on the original Model T was made with the Spanish moss from the South. It was also the first cause for an automobile recall because of all the bugs that are in Spanish moss. So once they figured out how to sanitize and kill all the bugs, then the Spanish moss was used as stuffing for the cushions. But it was really cool to learn about how much of an impact that Henry Ford had, not only in Detroit, Michigan, but also in the Savannah, Georgia area.
And you know, us Americans, we do love our Fords.
We do love our Fords.
Yeehaw!
Coming home from doing some errands, and we noticed along the road right before you get to the fort or the state park that we're staying at, everybody was kind of setting up lawn chairs and having a good time and whatnot. And we asked somebody, we kind of slowed down and asked somebody like, what's going on? And the guy said, well, there's gonna be a golf cart, a golf cart Christmas parade. And Ernst was like, okay, well, when does it start? And he said, whenever they get drunk enough and want to start. So we're gonna park here at the entrance. Not a bad view at all. It's going down that street, and that's the sunset. I don't know if you can see it, I guess not. But it's bright orange, brilliant, brilliant, brilliant colors. But yeah, we're gonna just go loiter. We just got beer as part of our grocery run, so we're gonna go see some golf cart extraordinaire. Walked through it and saw, we met some of the folks that do the parade. They said that this is an every year event. It goes through multiple different neighborhoods, like very much an organized event. They also do it for St. Patrick's Day because of all the Irish Catholics that came to Savannah. They're about to start, but they were so kind and they all were like, welcome to Georgia.
Yeah, welcome to Georgia.
So they're saddling up right now and they're gonna start soon. So we'll get the into the first street.
We'll film as soon as they start going.
Mm-hmm. Wave at all of you.
Here they go.
Off into the sunset.
And they're all drunk as hell. Merry Christmas! Uh-oh. Party poop.
Georgia, Georgia. Beautiful.